Hey there, gang, and welcome back to the First the Worst podcast. I'm Brendan Murphy,
And I'm Steve Arendis.
and it is a beautiful Sunday here in Chicago, although I've been told several times not to do a time element on this,
Yeah, who cares?
so I just blew my professional advice off the bat. Well, it is a beautiful Sunday, and the sun is out, and we are not. We are inside doing a podcast, but hopefully soon to be out, you with the babies and me with the beers.
Yeah, yesterday I did baby strapped to my chest and beer in my hand.
Oh, are you at Burger Fest?
Yeah, I went for like a minute, for like an hour or so. Then it started to rain and we got
I was
out.
at the Dave Matthews cover band.
At night?
I've had a
I know,
great week of music, man. I saw the real Eddie Vedder on Thursday
without the real Pearl Jam.
without the real Pearl Jam. I saw Spoon yesterday. That's cool, but that doesn't really fit the whole little bit I'm doing. I saw the fake Dave Matthews last night.
I heard him.
It's if you turn around and close your eyes, no different.
Was he really that good? Does it really sound that similar?
It sounds I mean, the guy even talks like Dave Matthews. He does like that, like, thank you, dog, thank you very much, yeah.
I mean, it was like playing that stage was like less than a half a block from my place.
I figured that you were probably cursing the existence of that concert because it was probably not helping the kids sleep.
This doesn't really affect it that much. It's just like it's kind of a rumble, and like it's not like that bad.
And then in my whirlwind of musical legends, I closed it out today with the fake Bruce Springsteen again.
Oh yeah.
So
I won't be hearing him from my place though, because it's the other side of Burger Fest.
Oh, that's the other stage. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
They're the main stage.
Main stage. That is main stage.
That is main stage. Yeah.
All right.
So we'll get to it. I'm excited about this one. This one was a suggestion.
Early on.
It's an interpretation of a suggestion.
Yeah.
From a listener.
Yeah, I think it was my buddy. Like it was like after our first or second podcast. Matt Malmstrom suggested we do infomercials, maybe.
Or infomercial pitchmen.
Yeah, but we're just doing pitchmen in general here.
And the way we're doing it is like they're pitchmen, but they're not celebrities. They could have been celebrities. I don't know how to describe it. You know, pitchmen are like pornography. You know it when you see it.
Yeah, like Peyton Manning is a football player who's on commercials.
Yes.
Right? Jared from Subway is a pitchman. And now there are some people who maybe were actors or athletes who kind of aren't anymore and are now pitchmen. They've like transitioned themselves in life.
Yes, exactly. Although as soon as you said that, I realized I forgot Jared from Subway, but I like my list so much that I don't think I'll be adding him.
I didn't put Jared on either, so if we want to talk about it.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised because he kind of is the definition of a pitchman.
Yeah, but I hate him.
Yeah,
and now I have real reason to hate him because apparently he runs a child porn hub or something. I don't know.
It's bad news for $5 footlongs.
It is bad news for $5 footlongs.
When I was at the zoo, we never got celebrities at our events because you probably didn't get that many champagne. I'm guessing it's like kind of in the middle of nowhere.
I never went to events, so I wouldn't know.
Games. That would be.
I rarely went to games actually. For how big of a sports fan I am, dude, almost never. I think I seriously went to 2 basketball games when I was there, and I went to like 3 football games.
I mean, I could see the football.
I watched them on TV. I don't know.
Well, at one game we had 3 quasi celebrities, and it was 3 more than we had. And Albert Pujols was there. That's a celebrity.
Yeah, that's real. Yeah.
He was a St. Louis Cardinal. Former Attorney General John Ashcroft was there. He was a terrible person, but a Missouri fan. And Jared from Subway was there. That was the 3rd celebrity. No tie into Mizzou that I'm aware of, though.
That's hilarious. Yeah. Jared from Subway. Did you guys get free subs or something?
It was a star-studded night against Iowa State.
Classic Big 12 matchup.
Yeah. But should we?
You are frozen as shit right now.
Yep. This is not going well. Okay.
Well, it's a clean place to do it though, right before the list.
Yeah.
It's a clean, right?
God damn it. Well, let's get into these lists, huh, Steve?
Yeah.
And I will start as we do the snake draft look.
Yeah.
I will, just going into this, I do have some consternation that maybe I put some people on here that are too famous for other things, kind of.
That's fine.
But well, I mean, everything is how you interpret it. I mean,
Yeah.
like, I thought of, like, for instance, that commercial with Spike Lee, Charles Barkley, and Sam Jackson that was on every time during the NCAA tournament. Those people are not pitchmen.
No, not pitchmen. No.
No. So, I mean, like, I didn't go that far, but there's one in particular that I think you could go either way on, and we'll see when we get.
We'll see.
So I did a good amount of grouping this week.
Oh, I did none actually.
Like to do. I have two that I'm pretty excited about. Two groups that I'm pretty excited about. The first one is the Bleeding Hearts. My number 10 is the Bleeding Hearts, and that is the people who are like doing PSA type things.
Oh, I totally forgot all of these people. Okay.
So I just thought of Sally Struthers and Sarah McLachlan.
Yeah.
But there's the $1 a day guy. Or a
Yeah.
dollar a month guy. I mean, whatever that is to kids in Africa, although I think Sally Struthers is kids in Africa too.
Yeah. And like diabetes.
Yeah. Well, that I could say, that is another thing for me.
Okay. I don't have him either, so we'll talk about it when you get to him later. I just forgot the whole cause thing.
But the one that I see the most is definitely that like PETA one that Sarah McLachlan does.
Which is like, does she even talk on it, or is it just like her song playing?
It's her song, and then she's like talking, holding a puppy at the end.
Oh yeah. With the crying puppies.
Or
the puppies that they just like, I don't even know if they are crying. They just put sad music behind them so people think they're crying.
Yeah, well, yeah. They might be having the time of their life.
Yeah,
they might just be like lounging after they had a T-bone steak. We don't know.
All right. I'll get to my number 10. This is my only woman on the list. And she was pretty famous at one point, but she's transitioned to a point in her life. While she was still acting, she got into her big break, which was the Thigh Master.
Yeah.
That's Suzanne Summers. But now, like, she passed that, she's got like a whole hustle, like on like QVC and like home shopping, of like selling jewelry and all kinds of crap. Now, like, there's probably a bunch of just people on those channels who are amazing pitchmen that we just don't know about. Because we're not like my grandma who sat around just watching QVC all day and buying stuff.
I mean, that's almost kind of a different category in a way.
Yeah, but
it is definitely pitching. Though.
Yeah, for sure. But they can pitch. Those people have to be able to pitch anything. It's a whole different thing. But yeah, Suzanne Summers, Thigh Master was a big deal, and she's not really doing any acting. At some point in her life, it was more pitching than acting.
I think that this stuff pays more than the kind of acting she'd be able to do.
Yeah, for sure. Like, what was she on? She was on
Three's Company, which is a very famous show, and I'm sure did a bunch of movies and stuff.
And Step by Step.
And Step by Step, which now probably 20 years ago.
Yeah. So yeah, there's not much going on there. All right, and I'll get to my number 9 here. This guy's a big deal. As far as I know, there's a little crossover with a couple weeks ago when we did some of the workout trend ones. And this guy is in the workout field, but he got so big that he just became a guest on David Letterman from time to time. And it's Richard Simmons.
Yeah.
Because he was more than just the guy leading the workout. He was also pitching you on like the infomercial or whatever on Sweating to the Oldies. And
he became like kind of a comedy thing too. Like it's a bit.
I don't know. I feel like it started as a bit and just became who he is.
Okay, well, which is kind of the reverse of how it usually goes.
Yeah.
Someone starts as who they are, and then they become a caricature of that.
Yeah, I feel like he became the bit.
Because, like, he's in movies, and...
I don't know if he's doing too well health-wise right now, so hopefully Richard Simmons is doing all right.
I mean, I bet he's older than we think.
Oh, yeah, I think so, too. I mean, he works out a lot. He's in good shape.
Yeah.
What was your number 9?
So this is another category I have. I call it old people preying on old people.
Who do you got there?
Wilfred Brimley on the diabetes thing, because I think he's selling something.
Yeah.
Fred Thompson on reverse mortgages, which are definitely a hustle.
Oh, they're a disaster.
And this one, I just wanted to include 2 Law & Order guys. So Sam Waterston, who is kind of still a famous actor and did TG and has done TD Ameritrade commercials and other commercials. What I really wanted to be the case here was that all 3 of those guys were at some point on Law & Order, but Wilfred Brimley was not.
Oh, how does you never be on a Law & Order?
It seems like Wilfred Brimley's tailor-made for Law & Order. But his IMDb did enlighten me on a few things. Well, one of his last actual credits as an actor is on Seinfeld.
Okay.
The library book episode, I should have wrote that down, but I think it was that one. And he was on a TV show called The Oregon Trail, which I did not know was a thing.
Do you think he was like based off the game? Or...
Well, it was in the 70s, so I'm guessing the game was based off that, sadly.
Possible. Okay. All right. Who's your number? So do you? So that was just like old men preying on old men. And by the way, reverse mortgage one is terrible.
The reverse mortgage. I mean, like, I'm not entirely sure. Wilford Brimley, I think it might be. You might be right. It might be closer to a PSA situation.
Yeah.
Diabetes. And I don't do a very good impression of the way he says it.
Yeah.
But the reverse mortgage one is definitely terrible. And, I mean, I mean, even when the branding of it still makes it sound sketchy. Like, they could have come up with something like, leverage your assets into money before you die so your kids don't get it.
That's exactly what they're saying. And there's some people that, like, I guess, like, gun to your head, you got to maybe do that, but it's never the best option.
No.
Maybe if you have no children or anything. Most likely, though, it's very rare that a reverse mortgage actually works out in the end. Usually you just get totally hosed because you die in like 5 years and then they just take your house.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unless you live to like 100 and you start it when you're 60.
It's not a good idea.
Yeah, it's not the best idea at all. All right. What's your number 8?
It is one more thing. It is kind of the antithesis of the American dream, which is like working hard and owning your home.
Yes.
And then selling your home back to the bank piecemeal over time, so your kids are worse off than you were. That's the entire concept of the reverse mortgage.
It really is.
My number 8, and I think this guy will be on yours, although, like, honestly, he's lower profile than he used to be. But if you're going to do a list about pitchmen, you have to do the godfather of the modern infomercial, Ron Popeil.
Oh, he's on my list.
And as I discovered from his Wikipedia page, which you, I'm sure, already know, he's in Fighting Illini.
Yeah, huge deal. I didn't know that actually until I looked at this Wikipedia page.
I saw that. I was like, I better mention that on the podcast. I usually make my list and then I put like a note in parentheses if there's something I want to add, and that was my parentheticals.
It's kind of crazy to me that you have him at number 7. I'm not gonna lie.
I have him at number 8.
Oh, number 8? Yes, even crazier.
I really like my list, honestly. Even having forgotten Richard Simmons and Jared, I think that I'm proud of this list. So, I mean, like,
there's no way there's 7 guys more better than Ron Popeil.
Well, we'll see.
All right.
Usually I could, like, you make a point and I'm like, maybe I should have done that differently. Right now, I'm feeling good about everyone.
All right, I'll save my Popeil stuff till I get to him then.
Okay. I mean, yeah, we can talk about the things he invented and things like that.
I have the hammer with Ron Popeil, and there's no coming back for why he's the best. Okay. But I'll get to that later. Whatever. We'll get to it later. Okay, so then I'm on my number 8. Yes. Okay, so I'm changing my number 8 to include 2 guys. I call it the real estate hustlers. And one of them is named Kevin Trudeau. And he would just like, and the other one is named Don LaPree.
Kevin Trudeau went to jail, or is going to jail.
Well, Don LaPree went to jail and killed himself in jail when he got convicted of fraud for selling one of my all-time favorite infomercials, Don's Package, that we would always call in college and ask him if Don's Package was guaranteed to satisfy us and how big it was and stuff like that. But he killed himself in 2011 in jail right after he got convicted for fraud. So yes, both those guys I think are in jail. Don't buy real estate hustler stuff from an infomercial, people.
There's actually a third guy that's kind of a dark horse that didn't make my list, but I really wanted to because he's hilarious.
Oh my God! Oh, I hope say it who it is.
Eric Estrada.
Oh no! Okay, I have to write
he sells timeshares, which aren't entirely a real estate hustle, but they're still a hustle. Because they're in, like, Arkansas. Timeshares to vacation in Arkansas.
Timeshares are a hustle in general.
Timeshares are not a great idea.
It seems like
it depends how. There's a certain type of person or a certain person who lives a certain type of lifestyle where they might work for, but, like, Hot Springs, Arkansas, not the place for it.
All right, I have to ask you something right now because there's somebody I totally forgot, and if you don't have him on your list, we have to talk about him right now because I love him.
Okay.
His name's Matthew Lesko.
Question mark guy?
Yes.
I saw him, then forgot about him, so we'll talk about him. He's not on my list.
He's kind of financial, but it's different. His whole so this guy basically looks like the Riddler.
Yeah.
He wore a suit with
free money.
And his whole thing was he sold a book that taught you how to get money from the government. And he was like, free money! You get free money from the government! Ah! And he just like talked like that all the time. And he was always like in front of the Capitol building or the White House when he was like yelling at you with this book in his hand, looking like the Riddler.
It kind of reminded me in a weird way of The Wiz.
Nobody beats the Wiz.
Nobody beats the Wiz. For some reason, those two kind of stand together with me.
I mean, I don't know much. The only thing I know about the Wiz is from watching Seinfeld.
Oh, I didn't even realize that was a real thing.
It is. It's like an East Coast thing.
Okay. So
somebody listening to this in New York is probably going to be livid that we're not talking about the Wiz more.
Oh, yeah. New York style commercials are just better than Chicago style commercials. There's no doubt about it. They're bigger and greasier and louder.
All right. So then it's my number 7.
Yes.
My number 7 is George Foreman. No need to introduce him.
Wow, that seems absurdly high to me.
You mean like he should be higher? Like
he should be low. I mean, he should be lower on the list. He should be closer to 1.
He sold one thing. He sells one thing.
But he made so much money doing it, and he's hilarious.
Sells one thing, and I think at least half these guys I have above him made way more money than him.
He made a lot of money, dude.
Oh, I know. But I mean, one of these guys for sure didn't when I'm looking at it. One of these guys I have above him's last name is the name of a very big company. So yeah, we got. But George, we'll wait because I'm sure you have George Foreman pretty.
I don't have like a ton to say about it, but if we can come back to it because we'll come back to closer to 1.
Okay. All right. Cool. So what's your number 7 then?
Now this one might be there's 2 that I think are kind of stretches. But this guy, if you're talking about guys who are selling burgers, maybe not necessarily with a straight pitch, but Dave Thomas made you want to go to Wendy's.
Dave Thomas is, I guess, a pitch. Yeah, he's a pitch man. Sure, he's not like famous really for anything else.
No, he was the owner of Wendy's, and he would sometimes talk in commercials, and sometimes there'd be a voiceover while he was making a bacon cheeseburger. And I do love their food.
Remember the old fat guy that was on the Dunkin' Donuts commercials?
Was that guy's name Joey Bag of Donuts?
Yeah, I think so. I just remembered him.
I only remember that because I've been listening to Mike Birbiglia, and he has a bit where someone called his brother Joe Bags because of that commercial.
Yeah. Yeah, Dave Thomas. I'd consider him a pitchman. Yeah, that's a legal answer.
Also, I have one note, and the note just says, "Fuck you, comma, Papa John." That's all I have to say to him.
Yeah, he's the worst. Here's the thing. Papa John can't make the list because he had to bring in Peyton Manning.
Yeah, he needed to bring in, the bigger guns.
Yeah, so he's not good enough as far as I'm concerned. And Jared from Subway had to bring in like every B-level athlete in the world, to be honest.
Honestly, the guys in Subway commercials could qualify for this list. Like Apollo Anton Ono, fine.
Yeah, him and the girl who won the gold medal in gymnastics 2 Olympics ago, Nastia Lukin.
Anton Ono is like one of the most disappointing Olympians ever.
Yeah, he was always supposed to be.
He was supposed to win like 6 gold medals 2 or 3 times, and I think he won like 1 once.
All I know is when it comes to first of the worst, next time there's Olympics, we're going to get so much material off the Olympics. There's so many bad things you can make lists off of.
Next year is an Olympic year and a presidential election year. There's going to be a lot of bad going in 2016.
There's so many things, different lists you can make about the Olympics or elections. It's going to be great.
We'll have to do an election night special.
So wait, so who was that? Who was the one you just did there? I don't want to get confused here.
Dave Thomas is my number 7.
Oh, so we have to go up to your number 6 then. Yeah,
we go to my number 6.
I didn't make sure you didn't say 6.
And this is interesting because this guy was a pitchman, and his commercials were defined by a jingle, and I didn't realize that they went national. These commercials started in Chicago and then went national.
The Empire guy?
Empire, 588-2300 Empire.
Yeah.
His name is Lynn Haldren, and he was actually an executive at an advertising company, and they could not find anyone to
So he
play
just
the
became the
Empire
Empire
Man, so he
guy?
played the Empire Man himself.
That's great. So this leads me to a whole nother question. Empire was first, right? Well, like Luna kind of does the same thing.
Do they have a guy?
773-202-2222. Luna. No, it's like a woman usually, but like with a husband. It's like a couple always. It's like we should just call Luna. They don't have a guy, but they did like the same like jingle, and it has to do with like flooring.
Okay, but Empire, he kind of pitched you on the prices and things a little more.
Yeah, you're right. He was doing, and then he did the weird animation of him throwing a carpet over your whole house.
Well, now, I mean, I don't know how long that animation has been around because now he's dead.
Yeah, so maybe that's what they started using.
Maybe that's when the animation started.
That makes sense. Yeah, that's a classic.
I mean, but also the one pause I have on that is Empire is probably more defined by the jingle than the guy.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that too. Menards had a guy for a while. Do you remember him?
Okay, as we were talking about this, I was thinking about Menards, but I don't remember ever seeing the guy.
Early on, I think they stopped showing him because there was no reason to show this guy that nobody knew.
I mean, I just remember like the banjo music and the garden hoses, but I don't remember the actual guy.
He had like white. He was like an old guy with white hair.
Also, another great like 5-second jingle. Save big money Menards. Which I got a lot of mileage out comically at the age of 10.
All right. So I'm on number 6.
You are 65, right?
Yeah. So for the rest of the way here, I have classic pitchmen. I would put in a pitch off against anybody. These guys have pitched multiple things. They've sold multiple things. They're all big time. When it comes to pitchmen, these are the cream of the crop. These 6. Number 6 is Anthony Sullivan. Are you aware of Anthony Sullivan? He's a British man who was on a show called Pitchmen, a reality show with him and Billy Mays. Now, if you're on that show, you're on the list. And he kind of took, I don't know if you, we're going to talk about Billy Mays later.
Yeah.
Anthony Sullivan kind of like, so Pitchmen was like, kind of like a low-level Shark Tank before Shark Tank. And people would pitch their things to Anthony Sullivan and Billy Mays. And like, they would like come in with their pitch, and then like the person would select them to do the infomercial. So now, but Anthony Sullivan's kind of taken the whole like Billy Mays, like that company, he kind of just does it now, but he uses his like British wiles rather than his clean cut beard to sell things.
And cocaine energy.
I don't know if he has cocaine. Maybe he learned. Speaking of guys who have criminal problems, my number 5's name is Vince Shlomi.
Bogus looking Ryan Seacrest.
Yes, he is most famous for selling the ShamWow and the Slap Chop, both of which I've owned.
Okay.
What did he get in trouble for? Drugs and like, did he get like a hooker too?
Drugs and prostitution.
Drugs and prostitution. And he always
and those things go together like peas and carrots.
And he always wore the Madonna mic.
Yes, he did.
For some reason, like you can't see what I'm doing here, but like the microphone that kind of like hooks around your head and like wraps around from your ear to your mouth. I don't know why.
It's like 50% of a Bluetooth. 100. I mean, or twice two Bluetooth.
Yeah, it's like a double Bluetooth. Yeah, and he always wore those, and yeah, I guess ShamWow is what he's probably most famous for.
Good product.
It works. It doesn't work as good as he says it does. The Slap Chop, which I bought, worked for like a week, and it was awesome, and then it didn't work anymore.
I have only bought one as seen on TV product in my life off TV.
I didn't buy them off TV. I bought these things at like Walgreens.
There are so many of them at Bed Bath & Beyond. But it's weird how many of them there are. But the one was a knife, like some sort of set of knives that like if the infomercial was just them like throwing things at the guy and him chopping them with knives. And later it became a game called Fruit Ninja.
Was it a Ginsu knife?
I don't remember what kind of knife it was because it was 3 in the morning, and then we ordered it drunk, and then like it came like 5 days later, and we left it in the case drunk for like 2 months. We left it in the case for like 2 months, then remembered it drunk, and started playing with it, and we couldn't really chop anything. The best we got would be like you could get something stuck on it if you were throwing it at them. So like you could get like halfway into a potato.
Real life fruit.
Like a clean break. Yeah.
Speaking of knives, did you ever see the Knife Show? we would often watch this when we were drunk at home, like eating food after a night in college. And it was like, I don't know what channel it was on. It wasn't on like Home Shopping or QVC. And it was just like these crazy dudes who just sell knives. But it was like Home Shopping Club style, knives and swords. And they just got really into it. And they were just the biggest nerds in the world. And we would just laugh for like an hour watching them.
No, but I would be into that.
They always had swords. I assume there's a lot of Game of Thrones stuff on it now.
Oh,
Because they
totally.
used to always have like they would have the swords would be like based off a sword from a movie or something, like or something like that.
Oh
like a
yeah, I
Highlander
mean,
sword.
like there's like a Valerian steel.
Yeah, like a fake ice or something. Yeah.
Now what I would really like is a set of Valerian steel steak knives.
Oh, that'd be great.
Okay, I mean, imagine it. You wouldn't even have to. It would just be a straight cut. It might cut through the plate.
Yeah, that's the problem. You probably need a Valerian steel plate.
I'll register for it at Macy's when my time comes.
All right. So who is your number 5?
Okay, this one is okay. In my list, at this last 5, there are 3 people who are famous for other things.
Okay.
But in my view, this person is most famous to me for this outside of movies he made in the early 90s.
Okay.
And that is Dennis Haysbert,
Allstate.
who pitches for Allstate and is like a Morgan, is like bogus Morgan Freeman as the voice of God.
You're right. He's done. I know him as the Allstate guy and the president.
I did not watch 24. That's why I think I can say that he's on this.
But still, no. I refer to him as the Allstate guy now. So like I agree because I call him the Allstate guy.
And he like totally has that Morgan Freeman voice of God thing going.
Yeah,
and obviously Morgan Freeman's way too famous for this list.
I don't. If I'm Allstate, I never lose Hastert.
Oh, I know. I mean, and I would not lose that gig if I were him too, because it's not like his acting career is just like, blossoming. He's had roles that are good over the years.
No, he's probably making bank from Allstate.
Yeah, and how easy is that?
Yeah, it's pretty easy. Oh, which just made me think of Mayhem too. Who I guess is a pitchman, kind of like a reverse pitchman.
Oh, you're right. You could also say Flo. That I mean, if we're getting to like fictional people,
Yeah,
Flo would be one.
Kind of a pitchman. Yeah.
Yeah, but I want Flo to die. Like I'm less likely to buy Progressive because of her, so she's not effective.
You're more into the Geico Gecko.
Yeah, I guess so.
He's the best animated pitchman.
Hey, an intellectual lizard is not something you see every day.
All right, who's your number 4?
This one's a stretch, I'll admit it, but
Stretch.
the Girls Gone Wild infomercial.
Oh yeah,
it all in my adolescence. It really did.
What's his name?
Joe Rogan.
No,
I put Joe Rogan.
Joe Rogan's he's not the guy. You're doing
Well,
the
he
wrong
was
guy.
on it for a while. I am doing the wrong guy though. You're right. It's God. It was the guy who founded Girls Gone Wild, and now I have to Google his name because this has to be changed. Although Joe Rogan did host the Girls Gone Wild infomercial.
I'm sure he did.
But I totally overlooked. I totally overlooked the guy, the scumbag, Joe Francis.
Joe Francis, yeah.
And he was like friends with Paris Hilton and all this stuff.
He got in some trouble.
Yeah, for the most obvious thing that would ever happen to someone doing that. Underage kids.
Yeah,
He's also banned from television as part of a legal settlement.
He was just somewhere. Like at some party or like that you wouldn't have expected him to get invited to. I don't know what it was. Like at somebody's wedding. Like Joe Francis was there.
Also, the company's bankrupt now.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see the infomercials anymore.
No, I'm sure the internet did not do them any favors.
No, they got in right at the last second.
Your business model is buy videos.
They got it at the last second. He got it at the last second, like that you could do that. Right? Like, it was like he got in at Girls Gone Wild when like internet was a little too slow to really compete with him.
With a DVD. Now a DVD is just an incomparable pain in the ass relative to streaming.
Yeah, for sure.
Co-eds.
Speaking of this leads me to a thing I learned about Jared from Subway, in that in college when he was like the giant fat guy before he ate all the Subway, and he only ate Subway because it was the downstairs of his apartment, and he was fat and didn't have time to do anything else. And he was so busy because he had hundreds and hundreds of pornography DVDs that he was renting to people on campus.
Well, this guy just sounds creepier and creepier. And the funny thing is, this year, the campaign they came out with about Jared is like him taking his kids to the park. Like, they involved his family in it for the first time. Like, he got married, and now has a family, and he wants them to eat healthy. When he's not peddling child porn.
Oh, man. Jared.
What a disaster for Subway. Like, a historically successful advertising campaign.
Yeah, now they're stuck.
It's a Cosby-level tragedy.
Yeah, now they're stuck. Now they're stuck with Apollo Antonotto, Nastia Lukin, and Justin Tuck.
All the giants they could have ended up with.
I feel bad for Mike Trout because I'm like, you're actually like the best player at your sport, and you're stuck doing Subway ads. Just nobody knows who you are because you're a baseball player.
Because your sport doesn't understand marketing.
They don't.
Baseball and hockey just don't understand marketing.
They don't at all. Like the hockey players, like the Blackhawks have like two of the best hockey players in the world, and they're like doing like local like car dealership ads. Like that's what they get.
The guys who've won 3 titles in 6 years.
Yeah. Or like selling the Blackhawks credit card. Like that's what they get. It's terrible.
For like Fifth Third Bank, like the 7th best bank.
Yeah. It's bad. All right. Am I on number 4 now?
You are.
All right. My number 4, another classic. This is going way back machine. Are you familiar with Jack LaLanne?
Oh, Jack LaLanne. Yeah.
Yeah. Workout guy / Jack the Juice Man.
Strong old man.
And Jack the Juice Man is what he became. And he invented the juicing craze by selling his juicing machine on infomercials. Yeah, and he'd like to pick up heavy stuff because he's old and strong.
I mean, there was this is my third Seinfeld reference, but there was a guy on Seinfeld that was basically supposed to be.
Yeah, for sure. What was his name? Do we remember?
I don't know, but he was number one dad. That number one dad shirt took it real personally.
Yeah. Jack LaLanne. All right. And then my number 3, I referenced him earlier when talking about Anthony Sullivan. It's this cocaine cowboy himself, Billy Mays.
Also my number 3, so this works out.
Works out perfect. Yeah, what was he most famous? OxyClean? Was that like his big one? I have OxyClean in my house right now. I use it on the regular.
I mean, OxyClean is now a brand that you buy in the store.
Yeah, that's what
so he transitioned that.
He killed it, yeah.
From just something that was like a niche product to a must-have. And I'll tell you, nothing cleans a toilet bowl better than OxyClean.
OxyClean cleans everything. It's amazing. I'll tell you what it does. It gets shit stains out of kids' clothes.
And I'm sure adults' clothes.
Yeah, if you need it.
If you need it.
Yeah, and then what? He died of a heart attack, which we later learned was probably drug. Probably had to do with drugs.
Okay, so it was the least surprising thing that he was on drugs. Because he's such a dork-looking guy.
Yeah. That
you wouldn't think it. But the energy.
Yeah, he was performance enhancing. That's why he's not number 1.
Okay. It's like the Hall of Fame. I mean, you'll put him in, but you want to put him in a different section.
Yeah, see. Like I'm fine with Barry Bonds being in the Hall of Fame, but you write something on his thing that he did steroids. He should be there. We need to.
I don't care. I think they all should be there. I don't give a shit. Because you don't know who didn't and who did.
Yeah. All right. Who's number 3?
Yeah. I don't.
You get Billy Mays.
So and I love that you were just like, baseball Hall of Fame arguments are the stupidest fucking thing on earth. We're not even engaged in this.
I love to have sports arguments, but I'm not talking about baseball Hall of Fame arguments.
Nothing is more self-righteous and white than baseball Hall of Fame people. Like, I'm sure the baseball Hall of Fame is great. I just don't want to be around anyone who likes to talk about the fucking baseball Hall of Fame unless you're at the goddamn baseball Hall of Fame.
It's the worst.
It's a museum with pictures of dead guys.
Yeah, and
it's like the way they made a big
baseballs.
deal of taking down Cosby's statue at Disney World.
Well, at least
There was literally no qualifier for him to be in there. It was just like, this is the room with statues of famous people.
have they taken him down from like the wax museums?
I wonder, what's the name of the famous wax museum chain they have like 5 of them. They're in like every super touristy place.
Madame
Tussauds, yeah.
Yeah, I bet they have taken him down in some places.
But they didn't need to do a press release like Disney did to get like B-roll of them taking the Cosby statue down to be like, we're family friendly, by the way.
All right. So who is your number 2?
My number 2 is Foreman.
Oh, Foreman.
And I mean, we got into it a little earlier. I'm not going to say like, I just love that. First of all, good product. Although you see far less of them than you used to.
Yeah, they've kind of gone downhill. Maybe everybody has one who wants one.
And also, like, why didn't he ever expand this in the outdoor grill market?
They kind of made, they were just like George Foreman grills that you put outside. You know why the problem with the George Foreman was? It was way harder to clean than. Oh, this is the problem with, also, do you know the story that it wasn't originally supposed to be George Foreman, right?
Supposed to be Hulk Hogan's.
Yeah, Hulk Hogan. Big mistake, buddy.
You can say that about a lot of things he's done the last 20 years.
Yeah, for sure. Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan would have been great on an infomercial too.
Yeah, I think he probably has pitched some stuff.
Yeah, just didn't take off like maybe not as good of a pitchman as George Foreman. Apparently.
No, George Foreman is lovable. You got to say that.
He is. He's very lovable.
I mean, he went from whatever it was, Ali, Boombaye Ali, kill him Ali, was what people were chanting about George Foreman.
Yeah.
So like, buy my grill. All my children are named after me, even the girls who I call Georgina. His 4 sons named George. It's not a lie. That's just what he did.
Yeah, he does, for sure. It's amazing. Speaking of people named the thing, you probably know this. I don't. This is a weird NBA fact I'm about to jut in. One of our favorite crazy people, Lance Stevenson. You know his brother's name? His brother's name is Lance Lantz. It's amazing. Lance.
Does his brother ball?
I don't know. I don't know, man. He's not the greatest 8th grade basketball player of all time. I'll tell you that much.
No. He's not born ready.
Not born ready. Yeah. All right. On to my number 2. Another British man. I believe he's British, or maybe he just sounds British. It would be a great hustle for a pitch band to use a British accent if you weren't British, by the way. Everything he sells, my wife wants, and it's all very expensive. James Dyson.
Oh, well, I mean, yeah, you're right. That's a multi-million dollar company.
Yeah. He can sell, I weekly have to argue with my wife about not buying one of his products.
I'm not that familiar with the non-vacuum stuff.
Well, usually it's just the multiple different. So there's the multiple Dyson balls, which I'm like, we have wood floors. We don't need a Dyson ball. Like, what are we gonna do with that? She just really wants one. There's also like the roller one, the smaller one. It looks like a stick vacuum. It's a small. It costs like $300.
Okay.
And then there's like the weird fans. You know what I'm talking about? They're just the fans are just like a giant circle. There's no blades. I don't know how like they push air, but they push like 800% more air around your place, and you can stick your hand through it. There's no blade. I don't even know how it works. I was in Dyson based in Chicago too. Weirdly.
It is. It's at 600 West Chicago.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought so.
Or I mean, maybe that's like their U.S. headquarters. If you're
it could be something like that because he seems British to me. He has that thing where if you have the good British accent, you sound smart.
Yeah, and the bad one, people are like, this guy doesn't speak any language. There's no words that this one says.
Exactly.
It's like this guy grew up in the camper next to Brad Pitt's character in Snatch.
Amy Schumer just made a joke about that in her last episode when she was asking people on the street if they thought if people were British sounded smart, and then she would go into like the dirty British accent, like the Sharon Osbourne British accent. Yeah. All right, number 1 It's the original Ron Popeil. I don't know how you put him in number 8. It's an insult to this whole industry. Everything he invented the words omatic, basically. Anything with the word omatic, the vegomatic, the chopomatic. He's also an inventor, by the way. He invented the Popeil pocket fisherman and pitched that. I don't know, what you need a little tiny. You think of how good of a pitchman you have to be to sell a tiny ass fishing rod to people. The rotisserie is his big one, right?
I guess for me, his visibility isn't as high as some of the other people.
Oh, yeah. This is all time. Currently, I'm not drafting him to sell my stuff right now. This is an all time thing. Because you know what? He invented the phrase, but wait, there's more. And that's why he's the best.
Was on the cover of several national publications that weren't like trade publications, like TV Guide and I think Newsweek.
Yeah, it's crazy that you get a TV Guide when you're just like selling stuff. You're just an infomercial. It's not a real TV show. Even. It's like what channels.
It's like what you do when you hate when you're. It's like what makes you not want to watch TV.
Yeah, infomercials are what channels put on when they don't have a show to put on. Like, oh, we need a half-hour commercial here. As a guy who had didn't have cable growing up, there was a lot of infomercials on late at night. You couldn't like put MTV on and watch the music videos. It was like, let's see what's getting sold on this channel. Let's see what Popeil has to offer. That's what it was. All right. So who's your number 1?
Okay, now I'm just gonna say it. She has been on Super Bowl ads for the last 5 or so years, and they're wildly successful. And she has made this company into like a force that no one had ever heard of. And Danica Patrick is also a driver in NASCAR, but she's not very good at it, and I think she's kind of just more famous for being hot. And these commercials are like kind of the vehicle which makes her famous.
The best thing about her, she's not that hot.
Kind of hot. Yeah, kind of hot. I mean,
she's not bad looking. She's not bad looking.
NASCAR driver.
I'm not calling her ugly, but she's definitely like hot for an athlete.
Yeah, I mean, she's like, okay, no, she's hot for a person. She's not necessarily super hot for like Hollywood hot.
Yeah, I can ask my wife. My wife's met her a couple times. She shops in my wife's store. The store of my wife. When she comes to Chicago. Almost every year when she comes to if you want to like creep on Danica Patrick, go to the place my wife works, the storefront, because she comes there like every time the NASCAR race comes to Chicago.
Also, and what a hustler. She has, I think, never won or won once and makes like mad money and more money than all those fucking hill jacks. So she's selling herself constantly.
I mean, she's like the Anna Kournikova of.
Absolutely.
Because like
the GoDaddy thing is different. The GoDaddy.com stuff, she made them into a brand.
Yeah, is her car GoDaddy, I would assume? Her NASCAR is a GoDaddy car. I feel like they had commercials before her, but like it's kind of definitely escalated with her. And now, like in the GoDaddy ads, like at first they kind of alluded to like that she was going to show us skin, even though it wasn't really. Now, like she doesn't even do that. It's like other girls are like showing skin, and she just. And like, also,
but they've mastered it too. They'll just show like the woman's bare shoulder and be like, "For the rest, go to GoDaddy.com right now."
Yeah, I mean that's where I like. That's the first place I think of to go buy a URL.
I mean, did you buy our URLs through them? Do we not own our URLs? Should I not be talking about this right now?
You shouldn't be talking about this right now.
Okay. We own all of our URLs, and you can buy them for very much money from us.
I owe so many URLs. That's just kidding. I always want to just like squat on URLs. Try to figure out.
It's harder to do now, though, right?
So many people try to do it too, and because yes, there are some weird rules. You have to actually like be really like have foresight now. You can't just try to like steal them out from under people. Didn't somebody do it with Dallas Cowboys? Didn't that? Was that on? That was on the league, right?
That was on the league. Someone did do it with GeorgeWBush.com, and they were negotiating with him, and like getting pissed off that they were paying more, and then they just put a bunch of like photoshopped images of him doing blow up on GeorgeWBush.com. This was like way before he like when he was first exploring the possibility of running for president. But that ship was impossible to sink, so they could have been not photoshopped images, and he still would have won. Or become president, but not won. whatever you want to say.
Well, besides the URL, we do have a Gmail account you guys could contact us at. That's firstoftheworst@gmail.com. If you want to give us any more ideas, because this was kind of an idea that was given to us by a listener, which thank you, Matt. And you can also tweet at us at First of the Worst, or tweet at Brendan at shy_Murph. Also, you can follow Brendan there if you want to learn about when his sweet stand-up gigs are, if he has any hot stand-up gigs coming up. Do you have anything to promote right now or no?
I mean, I'm out every night, but no
bigger shows right now.
Cool. I would say that every Friday night at Patsy's on Diversity, Racine and Southport, or I guess it's Diversity, Lincoln, and Racine, rather, that tri-corner over there.
Yeah.
That's a great open mic, and I'm there almost every Friday night, and there's a lot of very good comics there.
Cool.
If I'm promoting anything, I promote that one.
Okay, nice. And then you can follow me at Arendass, ARENDASS, if you just want, like, general sports hot takes. I don't think there's going to be an overtime tonight, though. So follow us at on our Facebook page, like our Facebook page at First of the Worst, and follow us on iTunes and our Stitcher or whatever you are. Subscribe to us there. Write a comment. And like if you're commenting on like a really popular podcast, you should just write that ours is really good on their comments so people can see them and come in. Just guerrilla marketing. But this has been good.
Yeah, this was a fun one. I like the suggestion, Matt, and let's keep them coming, guys. And we will be coming back to your earbuds next week.
All right. Thanks. Later.